Success Insight shares the stories of the people with passion and drive who make things happen in the world. Here's your host, Howard Fox.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Success Insight podcast. Our guest today is Patricia Love. Patricia is returning to the Success Insight podcast to continue, I would have to say, our adventure into being seen and heard. Patricia is a women's empowerment coach, and she is the author of the book, Seen and Unheard, A Little Girl's Journey from Silence to Empowerment. In Seen and Unheard, Patricia shares how she successfully navigated a life of mental abandonment, abuse, and trauma, and ultimately found her power and worth within in order to create a new story. Patricia, welcome back to the Success Insight podcast.
Howard, thank you so much. This is actually becoming a habit, and it's a good habit.
It's a good habit. I like it. I like it.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. And we had such a great conversation on the last episode about mindset and just pausing. You kept prompting me to pause. And what we think about, we bring about. And by the way, it's on my mind. I have to go back and find who the, let's just say another thought leader, who appeared on WBEX, which is the World Business Executive Coaching Council. And that episode on what you think about, you bring about was very important because I literally created a meme for my phone. Every time I had to sign into my phone, I would read, here's what I'm thinking about. These are the things I wanted to bring about. And it was very important. And heck, I'm living in Las Vegas now. I did move out west, that's part. Life is good.
It's all intentional. It's everything it's your intention and what you put into your thoughts that really matters. So good for you.
Yeah. So what's in store for us today?
Well, actually, like you said, we were talking about our thoughts, but along with those thoughts come what a lot of people have extreme difficulty in navigating boundaries in not only personal, but professional wise. Because of the lack of boundaries that a lot of people have, it actually causes anxiety. It causes stress. It makes people overwhelmed because they're brought up, especially women, to please people, to be the giver, the doers, everything. And because they don't know how to say that little magic word, no.
I knew you were going to say no.
It's a magic word, I tell you.
I love it. It is a magic word, and there's so many creative ways to say it.
Yes.
But it's so important.
It's very important. It's just the simplest little thing, and it's one of the hardest words for people to say. And because they feel like if they say no to people, that again, they're going to be rejected. They're not going to be loved. They're not going to be cared for, or they won't get that promotion or the such. All kinds of things. And it's just life driven. And even relationships, the lack of boundaries in relationships causes problems in relationships because there's no boundaries, because then it can be more of a safety thing and understanding who you are. So boundaries is a very tough subject for a lot of people. And I have a lot of clients that just say, I have a hard time saying no. And what I say to them is all you have to do is start, and you start small.
Yes.
You've got to start small. You can't start saying no to everything like this. Then it's like, no. And then it's like, no. But if you start small, you start building the confidence, because I feel like we've actually talked about this word before, choose. When we choose to say no, you start taking control of your life. And this, again, it all comes back to the theme of learning to live your life properly through awareness and acknowledgement and forgiveness and proper thoughts and mindset. It all works, and these boundaries help bring everything together in a lot of ways. So it's very important. Howard, what have you done, or what do you need to do to create some boundaries? Is there something in your life that you need to say no to?
It's funny.
Just thought I'd ask.
I'm glad you asked that, Patricia. Before we got on the call today, I mean, it's been a good day. I mean, I co-facilitated a workshop. I had a couple coaching sessions, virtual and via, they were actually all virtual, but different clients. And I found myself, oh my God, I'm getting tired. So I did what I usually do. I go take a 20, 30-minute power nap. But what I was thinking to myself is I really need to stop or say no on, say, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, anything that happens after, say, 5 p.m. Central Time.
Right.
Because I created this boundary for myself as a way to accommodate my guests. But what I can do is say, on these days, I'm just not going to work after 5.
That's perfect.
And I can do that by saying, I have other options for you.
Yes. You can choose to do that.
When you're thinking about it professionally, and I'm thinking about my clients, is helping them practice those conversations of saying no. You don't want to lose your career trajectory as long as it's your choice. But what you can say, I would really like to help you, but right now my plate is full.
Right.
If you'd like me to do this, what should I put on hold right now? So in some ways, you're putting the no back on the person who's made the request by saying, okay, where does this fit into the list of priorities? It was really funny because we're having that conversation today with a client. And then I thought to myself, oh my gosh, 5 o'clock, I'm tired. It's like, okay, I need to do something about this.
Yes, because we also have to live by our own actions towards other people. In other words, so if we're not choosing to have our own boundaries as coaches, say, or as an individual, how can we expect anybody else to have boundaries? So we need to, whoever you are, whatever career you're doing, or if it's just a personal person, you're living at home or you're taking care of children and you're at the PTA, you have to learn to understand that it's okay to say no, because in most cases, if you say no to somebody or say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm choosing not to do this, or I can't do that on that day, trust me, they're going to go on to the next person. They're not going to be all upset as you think that they might be. So we project this on ourselves.
It's a conversation we're having inside of our head.
It's that negative conversations, those thoughts that we talked about. What are you thinking? And that's exactly what you need to do here as far as boundaries. You need to sit and think about, what thoughts are you having that you feel overwhelmed? Where are you feeling uncomfortable? And yet you're doing it anyway. And if you're saying, I feel uncomfortable with too many clients on this particular day, then you need to look at that and say, okay, wait a minute. I need to maybe move somebody over here. And, good chances are they'll say yes, no problem. It reminds me in sales, because I teach a lot of realtors mindset and all that too, because I'm a realtor also. One of the big things in sales is, well, I can see you at 2 p.m. or 4 p.m. We don't give them any other choices. Unless they say, come up, other than, hey, when can I see you? Well, that leaves it totally open for them to just, decide my day, where you need to decide their day. And if that doesn't work, they will let you know. And then you say, fine, how about Tuesday then at 10 a.m. or at 12 p.m.? And then they go, oh, that'll work fine. So we do this to ourselves. So we have to be cognizant of our thoughts and our feelings of how we're feeling about saying yes to all the PTA stuff, saying yes to cooking extra and having that meal for the family dinner that maybe you're tired of having. And maybe all you had to say was, you know what, Josie, the daughter, maybe you could have it this year. They probably would love to, but they're so used to you doing everything that they say, well, let's just ask Howard. He'll do it.
That's the proverbial, well, I thought you liked to do it. And it's like, well, no, I don't, but nobody has stepped up.
Exactly.
Well, did you ask?
See, and that's the thing. So they didn't ask. Well, we can't get mad at them because we didn't say anything either. So we create this anxiety and this of life and on our minds for usually no reason. We just do it. We do it to ourselves. But boundaries are so important. And when you have those boundaries, you take control of your life and you're choosing to take control. And then you become and feel more confident. And guess what? You're going to get more things done because you're not as overwhelmed and you're not wanting or needing to take a nap for 20 minutes.
Yes.
Just saying, Howard.
Well, I like taking naps. It's, if I could make a living at taking naps, I wish. But
that's a boundary. You can certainly take naps too.
I wish I could.
All good.
So on a personal side with some of your clients, what are their struggles around boundaries? Is it some of the examples that you just presented, or are there some that are a little perhaps trickier than others?
Well, The trickiest ones I found that we have discussed with my clients is family ones, especially kids, because especially a woman, because they feel they're the giver, the carer. And so saying no to their kids is like, what do you mean say no to them? I can't do that. And, my reaction is, well, let's see here. How old are they? 35. Okay. So maybe we need to chat about, being a little bit more codependent, and maybe that you need to learn to say no. So, it's really just sometimes bringing it up to people where they can say, you know what, you're right. They're not 5 years old anymore. They can make their own decisions. So there's a lot of that, but there's also a lot of wanting to be known as the leader. So, they say yes to the PTA and yes to the party and yes to putting on this event in a career. So they have not only family going on, but they have their careers going on, and they say yes, 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 because they feel like they're trying to get ahead. But in reality, they're not doing anything well.
There is a model I recall from my coaching training. It was revolved around the triangle where you're either the hero, the villain, or the victim. And the hero, it's almost like they want to constantly say yes to everything because they feel that's going to help make them the hero.
Well, it also feeds their ego.
Yeah.
And in most cases, the only one that they're hurting is themselves, because most people really are just happy you're doing it and they're not doing it.
Right.
So are they making you the best? Yes. Sometimes you'll get a reward for something, or an award. But in reality, you're hurting yourself, because the stress on you, or not only your mind and your thoughts, but on your body will take a toll from not creating boundaries in your life and in your careers.
It's interesting as we're chatting about this. I'm recalling other conversations, in the career development world and with clients literally this year. And I have enough clients that, the stories after a while, okay, I've heard something like this before. This is not new. The one where the individual is so used to feeling that they have to do it all by themselves.
Yes.
And that just frustrates. It grows frustrating because now they're the victim.
Yes.
Okay. Because they're
I would have been one of those.
Yeah, the hero and the victim. But okay, if you want to have more balance in your life, why not ask other people to help you?
It's a control issue for a lot of people. And I had that issue. I had a control issue. I thought I could do it better than anybody else. But in reality, there are other people, if you search them out, you can find people that probably not only as good as you, but better in some cases.
Sure.
And so delegating things to other people is really important. Yes, you have to do your homework and make sure that you're getting the right people. And sometimes then you may not always get the right people. The point is not to say, oh, see, I should have done it myself. The point is saying, as mindset is, okay, I learned from somebody. I learned from this. I didn't pick the right person on this particular thing, but I will the next time, because I've just learned something. So it's all about bringing your thoughts around and creating boundaries in your life. And you will live a much better life and a less stressful life if you're creating boundaries. And basically, you need to honor yourself and give yourself permission to say no, because it's okay.
Right.
I know that now I've said no. I say no a lot, because here's the wonderful thing about saying no. You get used to it. So then it's like, okay, so when the very first no was like the hardest no in the world, it was like aching. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to hate me. And then when nothing happened and the world didn't blow up, everything was just fine. I'm like, well, okay, well, that went well.
That wasn't so bad.
Let me try it again. And then after a while, it's like you start taking control. And when somebody now asks me something that I truly do not want to do, I'll say, no, that I don't think I might say I have another appointment at that time. I wish I can't help you at this point.
Right. Right.
So it just depends on how you approach it, but it takes control of your life. And what's happening with most people is they're out of control. And what boundaries do is start bringing you into control. And I've been telling you, when you can control your life better, your business will go better, your personal life will go better, and everything else, because it shows from your energy that you're out of control.
Definitely that.
You think you're hiding it, but you're not.
Yes. And people see that too. People see it.
Yeah.
People see it.
They see the energy. Yeah, it's totally, because when you're overwhelmed, it's written all over everybody's face.
Yeah. Well, Patricia, another great episode. And I think we have a lot of great information, insights, some golden nuggets. And I think we did good today.
I think we did good too.
Yes.
I created some good boundaries here.
Yes, you did. and so did I. So I'm going to start to...
I'm going to have to check on you, though,
I have
Howard.
to work on my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday
Yes,
after
you are.
5 p.m. boundary.
That's right. That's right.
Fantastic.
And you need to create more naps.
There you go. There you go. Well, Patricia, if our listeners would like to learn more about you and your work, where are the best places for them to go?
Thanks for asking. Hey, Howard, you should go to patricialove.com. That's the best way to find me. Or please go to Facebook at The Rah Rah Coach and Instagram, Coach Patricia Love. So I'm pretty easy to find. You can Google me also, Patricia Love.
Fantastic. Well, as usual, in our show notes, we will have the backlinks to patricialove.com as well as to your Facebook and Instagram pages. And also on Amazon, we'll have a backlink to Seen and Unheard, A Little Girl's Journey from Silence to Empowerment. Thank you again for joining me on this journey, and looking forward to a few more episodes with you. I'm very excited. Looking forward to it.
Me too. Thanks, Howard.
All right. Folks, I hope you enjoyed, Patricia and I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Success Insight podcast. And we have been really unpacking this idea of navigating your personal and professional boundaries, learning the magic 2-letter word, no. It's not so hard. And, Patricia, in her career, in fact, even in my career as a business coach, career development coach, helping clients understand why it's not so bad and doesn't ruin you personally or professionally, to learn how to say no. And when you do that, you're going to be taking better control, more control over your life. Okay. So that's a good choice you get to make, and you get to work with folks like Patricia to make that happen. All right. If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd love to hear from you. You can visit us on successinsightpodcast.com and share a comment about the episode. You can also find us on Facebook and LinkedIn on our Success Insight podcast pages. We're also on the major podcasting platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and we're also on the major platforms like Spotify, where we will soon have a health and wellness playlist where we will have all of our episodes with Patricia available for you to download and listen at your leisure. And we're also on iHeartRadio and Pandora, as well as on YouTube. Okay, folks, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, go out there, have a phenomenal day, and we will see you on the next episode of the Success Insight podcast. Take care now.
Success Insight is a production of Fox Coaching and First Story Strategies. Find us online, successinsightpodcast.com.